Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Good to be back. And today I'm answering a letter, and we are talking about Ukrainian women dating internationally and whether Ukrainian women actually would consider having a serious relationship that's leading to marriage with a single dad. I feel, just a second, guys. I feel that I feel that in some ways the attention is always on single mothers. If you look through internet, if you talk about international dating, whoever on internet, it's always about single mothers. And sometimes I wonder, so men have no children. Children, it seems like in the world, women are the only uh, gender that has to take care about kids. So that's just a side note. It feels a little bit strange. There is a lot of imbalance, and usually the whole world is concerned about single mothers and what terrible destinies they have and terrible issues and all those labels and all of that. But not that much attention goes to single dads. And I have to say that in my community, in people who follow me, there are men who actually have younger children as well, and that for some reason either divorced or maybe they lost their wife, and they looking not only for a partner, for a wife, but they also looking for a mother of their for their existing children, either a mother because there is no mother figure, or positive role model, a positive um, a positive, good, vibrant, caring woman that would fulfill that role, because very often people are divorced and they have terrible relationship, and a lot of times um, talking today about ex-wives, and a lot of times there is a lot of turmoil and negativity, and it's kind of shocking for me to discover, but unfortunately in Western world, that's just my observation, it feels to me like a lot of women are sort of in certain category of women, they sort of step away of actually raising their children. It's very hard for me to understand that, because the way we were brought up is that children are first responsibility, and you know it's very hard for me to understand certain things. But after consulting many people, I've learned that a lot of men actually have been mothers to their children along the way. And this is what fascinates me so much about how many wonderful dads in this Western American world. By any meaning, I'm not trying to put hardworking and wonderful, dedicated mothers down. I'm talking right now only about the situation where you basically have been a mom, a dad, and a mom, and you just getting a little tired. Um, you want to have somebody you can rely on. You want to have somebody to love without feeling guilty, but also you want to have somebody who would be a positive role model. You're not necessarily trying to or planning to tell your child, okay, so now this is your mom. You're not necessarily trying to bring you responsibility, but you want that beautiful role model, because no matter how we try, children do need to have two genders. And they need the masculine and the feminine, and there is no replacement. We do our best sometimes, as we know, life hits us, but there is nothing so unnatural or unusual that single fathers also want to have a right or a possibility, an opportunity to meet a potential spouse, the feminine of the future family. There is nothing wrong with that. Meanwhile, I want to say hi to everybody, guys. It's been so long since I made a live. I appreciate the support, Lance. Thank you so much for supporting me. I appreciate the super chats. Thank you. And John and John and John and John, I should make a wish. Thank you guys for joining. I didn't advertise the live today because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it. But here we are. I truly appreciate the encouragement. It is incredibly difficult to get back on my feet. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's just what it is. But today I felt starting responding the letters is going to help to when you help others, it really does help you. I shared with you guys a little bit personal information. I shared with you guys that the father of my son really had depression issues late years. It was very, very difficult. I want to tell you the main reason, and we're gonna go right back to the topic. The main reason was that he could not any longer do the thing he loved doing the most. There was one thing that he loved doing the most, and he was amazing at it. And late years, he couldn't be doing it. And sometimes you just have to start over. And I was thinking about him this morning, and I was thinking, it's time to step by step go back and respond those emails and bring some good topics and keep helping you guys. So that little side note. So sometimes when we are hurting, we gotta go back to something that help others in order to heal ourselves a little bit. So thank you so much once again for the support. John Vitier, thanks so much for the super chat as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I feel the props. I feel the good energy. It means a lot to me. Thank you. So today we're talking about men's struggles in a relationship. Once again, you can probably find thousands and thousands of videos and articles about the single mother's journey or co-parenting, but there is not so much once again about men. And I received a letter from one of my subscribers asking about just feeling pain and asking about a direction on what to do when you meet somebody and you feel like you have connection, you have chemistry, you have good relationship, but the person isn't quite ready to share life responsibilities with you. The person is not quite ready to become part of your life and also share those parenting responsibilities. And not only that they are not ready, but it looks like they are not planning to be ready. So in that letter, the topic was the question was about what do I do? We spend time, we travel, we really connecting well, but I was told that the lady I have a relationship with, that she's just not planning to take it any further in terms of becoming, excuse me guys, a stepmother or a mother, you know, nurturing positive female role for the daughter that this man has. And what do? Do you keep pursuing somebody in hopes that this person one day will be ready to share those responsibilities and become a real connected, complete family? Or do you move on? Or, how do you also manage the feeling of pain and rejection? because I can guarantee you that it taken place. When I read that letter, I was thinking to myself that, children are really our continuation. It is so true. They are our blood. They are continuation of us. Sometimes I feel that in some ways death does not exist. Have you noticed how people are starting to look exactly like their parents, even if they're not looking like them in during their lifetime? Have you noticed how you can define and see some strong family features like through generation? Basically, we just keep, you know, reproducing and reproducing ourselves. And when we are about to expire, when we're getting older, our children, so to speak, becoming us. So basically, our children are us. There is no doubt. We connected on all the levels. And of course, there is a major instinct. And I know in general, women's instinct is stronger just for survival purpose because, that wouldn't be there. It would be very difficult for a newborn to survive. But when it comes to single parenting and especially single dads who have been, the father and the mother, you just experience, you kind of have even a stronger attachment because you're the only person responsible. I mean, it's a complicated thing. It's very deep. So what I'm going with this is here. When somebody tells you that you're nice and maybe they even love you, but they are not planning to accept your child or your children, do you really think that that is love? Do you really think when somebody wants you to leave or reject or see that somebody so dear to you, who is also a part of you, made from you, is not welcome, does not belong, and it's a burden? Once again, do you believe that that is a potential relationship that can grow into pure, authentic love? John is saying no. I agree with that. And Mark Pillar is saying, just a minute. Mark Pillar is saying, hello, Veronica. I'm widowed father of five and three. Oh, I'm not sure. So, girls, three. Okay, of five. Three girls and two boys. And you nailed it. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you can relate. So, and this is where you should also ask yourself, are you with this woman because, she's attractive, you feel good around her, but do you really know her? Did you take your time to get to know her? Or just to be very honest, is not necessarily love from the both sides because you don't know what she wants, what she desires, and also you are also not in love, you are in lust. And those are two very different things. Maybe you enjoy your time because you don't have that much time as a single dad, especially if you have maybe several kids and they do sports. You really always on the go, and when you have time for yourself, you basically you just let your imagination do the work, but you never really get to know the person. So sometimes you have to answer yourself that question too. Are you in love or are you in, I don't know, lust, attraction, whatever it is? Because that's usually what it is. There is a big difference because when you are, in that stage of just being excited about somebody and you just like them, you enjoy them, it doesn't mean that you wanted to take care of them. And guys, let's be very honest. When you meet a woman, how often you think, how can I provide for her? How can I make your life better? How can I um, help her to relieve her stress? How can I make her smile? How can I surprise her? How often do you think that versus thinking, oh wow, I can't wait. I can't wait, till we finally are together, when we finally are enjoying each other in intimate atmosphere and till, we go on that vacation or basically when finally we're gonna have sex, and all of those fantasies and things. So this is just the major difference, between those two. And when the person you are with kind of giving you an idea that you are nice and the travels are nice and the shopping is good, but they're just not ready to dedicate themselves to you, and they also do not see that in future. So they're not saying, let's get each other, let's get to know each other better, let's build that trust, that bond, but they're just kind of telling you, um, I'm enjoying this, but I really don't want to take the burden of your child. So that's what we got. I honestly think that the answer is very clear on this one. And nobody can decide for you. You have to decide for yourself. Um, it's very important to get real with yourself and honest with yourself, and also appreciate the honesty of the person who actually tells you the truth, because very often people pretend and they do not tell you the truth. And I think that's why there is so much drama, um, with single parenting, is because I feel that a lot of times people are misleading and they enjoy a certain person, but they don't want to say the truth. And people who have children, they don't have that much time to mess around. They value their time. They try to be very wise with us. And of course, there are also psychological things. Because you have children, you don't want your children to get attached to somebody you might never be with. So that is another issue. So, other words, I think that answering the letters when you know somebody for a while, and they clearly tell you that they do not have intention to burden their lives with your living situation. They do not see that as benefit, and they do not looking forward to be part of it. Um, Probably that is their position, and you are the one to choose if you could settle for that. Put all of your energy, your emotional energy as well, um, all of your resources, and get deeper and go deeper into something that is not going to work. So that's for you to decide whether you want to keep making time for that person that is not planning the future with you, just because you're already comfortable and familiar and maybe you really enjoy that company, or realize that you have different values and you go in different directions. And once again, I know there are some fathers and single fathers and divorced fathers who had terrible time going through all these processes. I know that you're watching, and we all know that when somebody love you truly, they will never ask you to leave or abandon someone that matters to you. I'll repeat this again. When somebody love somebody loves you truly, they will never demand, put a condition, or ask you to leave or abandon somebody that matters. Especially when that somebody is probably most important person in your life. So that's uh, just a little insight on this. Um, a lot of people going through this, and I'm just amazed by the stories my subscribers share with me, and difficulties of parenthood and co-parenting. But I do want to encourage you, and I want to say that being a parent does not mean that you need to give up on your life. I don't even like labeling people, because um, when you label somebody, it's the same as you kind of trying to give them that limit that there is something wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you being married, being divorced, being a parent, co-parent, or being by yourself. I was in a situation myself. I experienced all of these things, and it did not affect the quality of my love to my child. So there is no reason to put yourself down or mark yourself down, because you're doing an incredible job raising a child or children. If anything, you deserve respect for doing what you're doing. And talking about dads today, once again, I've been receiving stories of many very dedicated dads that been there from day one, and sometimes basically have been experiencing being a mother to their child, as well as, of course, the father. So it's one of those things that you are not less, you are more, because you had to expand your heart, you had to expand your knowledge, you had to expand your energy to be able to do all of those things. So don't let anybody to put you down for that and make you like you worth less. Actually, you worth more, because in your family there are more people to love, and if somebody does not get it, they probably do not belong to, and probably not going to be the part of your family. Hey everyone, we have more and more people. I did not plan to be so long here, guys. John is saying, Veronica, I absolutely agree. The children need to be made part of any future family. If it's not a good relationship. Yeah. Thank you for the compliment, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you have such a positive outlook. Um, Somebody is asking about a little different subject, but I will answer this. How much time a Ukrainian girl will wait in a long distance relationship for finally travel and live with her male partner in another country? Well, it's very individual. It depends on her. I would tell you that, I would not wait, because as a female, I can answer, I would not wait for nobody for some months and years. It's crazy. So, when I met my husband in Ukraine, before all of the story had happened, he took an immediate decision. And if he wouldn't take it, and he wouldn't take an action, I probably would not be talking to you right now. So everybody is different, and also the genuine the girl is, the less she's willing to wait, because we need love and affection today, right now. Not in 3 years. You have to understand that. Females that agree and say, "Oh yeah, we'll wait for you, no problem." These are usually the females that not talking with you online for the faint of heart. Because if you ask her if she's into you, she will say no. So this is just an idea, and might make some video about that later. Okay. I feel very vulnerable and very sensitive, kind of weak in a way. I am just open to admit um, how it feels to try to come out on life, still going through different stages of sadness. So please excuse me if I behave in unusual way, but I'm just trying to come back and do more. Words of wisdom is always, oh my gosh, thank you, Kamastel, from such an intelligent lady. Thank you. You look like an absolute princess. Thank you so much. And have a genuine ability with both your words and with people. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I can tell you guys that it's life is not that great without you as well. I miss being here and do what I do. I did work with a few clients, just in person, privately during this week. It's like I feel like it's slowly coming back from the knockdown. So I appreciate the encouraging messages. I really do. And to the author of this letter, I would like to say that if you have some details that I did not consider, if you have some unique aspects to your situation, you might consider talking with me in person, via the, via phone or Skype. If you have, sometimes there are little details that make a huge difference. So if I misrepresented something or didn't or miss out on something big, and you feel like you'd like to get my help in person, please let me know. You can send me another email, either emails that are connected to the YouTube channel or consultveronica@gmail.com. Lyndon Williams is asking, "Hi Veronica, hope you're well. Thank you for your videos. What about ladies who have children but you don't? Of course, they are very important. How do you discuss this?" I discuss this all the time because, as I said, there is always, like women and children is always a unit, and I think, but I will make another video, guys. I don't want to go for too long. Maybe even very soon. Don't want to promise when. We're gonna go into accepting children from previous marriages, from previous relationships, and it goes both ways. Doesn't matter, because let's face it, most people who are dating at the more mature age probably have been either married or have been in a relationship, and most likely have at least one child in general, overall. So we're gonna talk about accepting, the continuation, the each other children, and understanding that the importance of getting to know the other party, because I feel that a lot of people who deny to get to know the children, they really don't want to get to know you, because one of the ways to realize who the person really is to talk to their children. It doesn't matter if it's a mother or father, but when you talk to a child, you can tell a lot about the way they were parented and who they are. You can learn a lot. You have another option is to, you know, hope that You will meet somebody that had never been married, never been in a relationship, never had children, never kissed, never been hurt. But the chances of that are very, very slim that that will happen. But you can wait for that as well. You don't. Um, okay, last thing I'm gonna touch on this. So that would be another video. But last thing I want to touch on this is jealousy. To me, jealousy is an absolutely ridiculous thing because these are two different category, children and spouses, and it's just absolutely insane to me. But of course, jealousy takes place, and this is something you should not ignore. If you find out and you feel that there is jealousy and tension, between your new wife and your child, or your child and you don't hold it in, talk about it. Sometimes you will just sit down and talk, and you will be reassured that you are loved. There is enough of love for everybody. It's not like there is this tiny little supply, of and there is only this many ounces or grams of love, and if you have more people, that supply is going to melt and disappear, and everybody going to be hungry, unhappy, and unloved. I think it's quite the opposite, because when the when people are connecting, love and feeling of warmth and connection, it just multiplies. That's one of the very big and important signs for actually figuring out if your relationship is right. Is when you are with that person, do you feel like more? Even if you don't have children, when you're with somebody that is right, that has the right influence, you can't help it, but you feel like more. You look at yourself as more. You just feel deep inside that you are more, and you are capable. You feel that you have no limits, and that's one of those signature of the positive and true love relationships, not lust relationships, not only sexual relationships, but those that go into depths. And so when you meet an adequate human being, an adequate woman or man, and maybe both of you have children, at least between the adults, uh, there must be an understanding that there is no point and no reason to be jealous to children. Children is it's a beautiful stage of life. It's a beautiful part of life. It's very, it's very special, very gentle. There is so many things about it. But children do not belong to you. Children will have their own life. And the more your own life is fulfilled, the better parent you're gonna be. Those mothers and fathers that focused on their children 24/7, 365 days, they turn their children to psychos because they're always in their hairs, they're always controlling them, they replace their own happiness, they replace their own joy. They don't even know anymore what they like. It's all about their children, but children will never appreciate that, because children also want to see that you actually have a personality, that you have passion to do something, that you are happy in your life, and that not you leave them alone, that you let them develop, that you set an example with yourself. So for those of people who are obsessed with their children, that is your job to change this. If somebody tells you meet somebody and somebody keep telling you, oh, my daughter is everything for me, or my son is everything for me, be very careful, because a lot of times it will mean, especially if that's a grown daughter or grown son, a lot of times it means that I put no value on you. If I need to cancel with you, I'll cancel with you at any time. If you're, if I have a choice, and even if there is an emergency, but my daughter or son just want me to do something for them, I can't help you. I'm not available. So, once again, of course, children under 18 is our first and important mission, to make sure they're safe, they're good. But when somebody is exaggerating and telling you, oh my gosh, they are everything for me, and that is a message that if they're everything for them, you don't have a place. So you gotta make sure that you hear that message, especially if it keeps coming. Because as parents, let's be honest, sometimes we do say those things and we do mean them, but in a more positive way. When we say, my child is my world, it's true. When we are connected to our children, we are connected with them. But context, in that context, a lot of times that just means, I'm not gonna give you nothing that I have. I'm not gonna give you anything. I'm not gonna invest in you emotionally. I'm not gonna spend any time with you, and you come lost after. Let's say you have several. After all my children, after everything, you're gonna become lost. So if you're okay with this, great. So just be aware for that obsession, because jealousy is absolutely ridiculous. If somebody is not ready, if somebody doesn't not want to be with you, that's okay. But being jealous to, a 10-year-old child or 9-year-old child or 15-year-old child is crazy. If anything, you got to be happy that the person you love have that beautiful experience in their life as being a parent. We are not competing. It has nothing to do with, being somewhere, I don't know, in a competition. And it's not a competition, and the love supply is not limited. Yet, once again, it multiplies in a healthy relationship. There is enough for everybody. There is more than enough. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I won't read the compliments, but I appreciate them. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you find this helpful. And I will address some more issues, was when grown people date and they have some history. Most likely people have some history. I would not call it baggage, I would not call it luggage, because those are people. And sometimes sometimes that stepchild, so-called stepchild, that you are mean to or you do not want to accept, or other way around, that's gonna be the child or the grown person that will, drive you to your nursing home and bring you food. You just don't know. Sometimes the child that you did not really want, even if it's your biological child, is becoming the dearest person in your life. So don't close the door in front of somebody that is about to enter your life. Give it a chance. Do your best, learn, open your heart, and enjoy the journey. Thank you.